What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we went down to the gun room and we picked up 5 very popular guns, and we're going to be brutally honest about them. Some of the pros, but most of the cons, and we're going to talk about why some of these might not be right for you. It's going to be a fun yet informative video, and it'll allow me to vent a little bit. Now before we get into this video, I want to thank the people who made it possible, which is my patrons supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys that we have all these cool guns and ammo to review on the channel, and we really appreciate you. If you want to support the channel, that's the best way to do it. Just go down to the link in the description below. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. Now let's get into it with number 1 here. Now the Glock 19 is probably the most popular carry gun ever, maybe ever. Possibly ever. I think the Glock is the most produced pistol of all time now, and I think the Glock 19, at least for the past 40 years or so, has been leading the charge as far as concealed carry. Glock is the recommended gun. If you talk to any firearms trainer that had 1 ounce of military or law enforcement experience, he's going to tell you to go out and get a Glock 19. Well, I'm here today to tell you that they're probably not right. Now, the Glock 19 was, in fact, the best gun in the world at one point, but things change. As Tracy Lawrence says, time marches on, and it's marched on a little bit past the Glock 19. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad gun by any means, but I am saying it is certainly dated. When I look at this gun, I see history, I see track record, I see reliability, but I also see a little bit of an inflated ego. Now, the Glock 19 is lightweight, it is durable, and it is reliable. The magazines are readily available. It's got a good track record, and holsters are available. And it's pretty shootable for the size of gun it is. But let's be honest, it is extremely dated. And from the Generation 3, they haven't really made any significant changes that matter that much. Sort of like that guy that you went to high school with and he was pretty cool, but you met him 25 years later and he's the exact same guy. The Glock 19's sort of there. In a world full of micro double stacks, the Glock 19 really doesn't stack up as far as specs go. If you compare this to an M&P Shield or a FN Reflex or even a Sig P365 XL, you'll find that a lot of those guns have the same capacity for a lot less width, a lot less size, and overall a much more carryable platform. On top of that, they definitely come with better features. I mean, this Glock right here was relatively expensive. Without this optic, this new Glock 19 Gen 5 is around a $650 to a $750 gun. And it comes with just basic plastic sights. It comes with a pretty gross trigger. It comes with a grip angle that most people have been complaining about for 40 years, but somehow is still the exact same. Now, the Glock magazines are nice and they are affordable, but they're also coated in polymer, so you do have problems with ejecting the magazine and several other issues. The Glock 19 also happens to be extremely reliable, but it is not quite as reliable as other people claim. Is it extremely reliable? Yes, it is. Is it more reliable than a Shield? Not really. Is it more reliable than a P365? Maybe. Is it more reliable than a Walther PPK or even a VP9? I would say absolutely not. All of those guns come with something that sort of trumps the Glock 19. If you get a PDP or a VP9, you get a much better trigger and you get a lot better features out of the box. If you get an M&P, it's a little more shootable, you get much better features out of the box. So overall, the Glock is an okay gun, but it's a little big, it's a little bulky, it's chunky, it needs to get on Ozempic, and it needs to add some features to keep up with the market today, or they're going to continue to lose market share as they have for the past few decades. Now, to give it a little props, and the reason why it's the first one on the list is because they actually did sort of make an innovation with the Koa optic and the optics mounting system that they have, but most of that innovation was actually done by Aimpoint, not by Glock, and you could pretty much put these on any pistol and say the same. Overall, for $700, I think if you're looking for a carry gun, you can get a much smaller, lighter weight platform with the same magazine capacity, probably ported with an optic already mounted for the same price. Now let's get into it with number 2 here, and now we'll get after an old classic. James Bond's gun, the Walther PPK S. Now the Walther PPK is a very, very popular carry gun. So popular, in fact, that it's well over 100 years old and it's still being carried at your average barbecue today. That being said, it does have a gigantic amount of drawbacks that is overlooked by its looks, like most of the hot chicks you've ever met. Now, the Walther PPK is a 380 ACP pistol with only a 7+1 round capacity, yet it weighs the exact same as the Glock 19 that I just showed you before. It is very heavy for its size and for its magazine capacity. It also has a pretty rough trigger, and it has very skeptical reliability depending on which model that you get. Now, don't get me wrong, for its age, for like the 1930s, this was an absolutely excellent gun. But again, it's not the 1930s. The sights on it are okay, and the grip feels sort of comfortable, but I've never met a person with large hands that didn't get bit by the PPK.
Oh, right in my hand.
And on top of that, you are very limited in power and you are very limited in capacity, especially for the size and weight of the platform that you get. You add the mixed reliability to it, and in a modern day setting, if you're buying a concealed carry gun and that's what you're getting, you're comparing this to the M&P Shield, you're comparing this to the CZ P07, there's no reason at all to buy this other than the fact that you really like Bond movies. Now, will it get the job done? Probably, most likely, but it's also going to be more expensive than all of those guns. So you're paying more, you're getting less, and you're trying to get by on style points. And whether that works for you or not is up to you, but it is certainly the case. If this wasn't James Bond's gun and it didn't look like this, people wouldn't carry this anymore. And if you compare it to a modern day 380 ACP pistol like the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0, it is much bigger and heavier with, again, less capacity. And if you compare it to something like the P365 or the P365 XL, it's going to have a limited capacity, power, and obviously it's very snappy even for a 380 pistol.
So accurate. This thing is so accurate, but it does have some snap for sure.
If you want something with light recoil, this is not your boy. Maybe check out something like the Ruger Security 380 and you'll pay half as much. All right, what's the next victim? Well, this one's gonna be easy. This is the Sccy, or the modern day garbage rod. The Sccy is probably the worst gun that you will see in your gun store. Sadly, these things are extremely popular. People actually carry these because of the price. The spec sheet looks pretty good. If you compare these to other guns, it's around $200 to $300. It comes with a 10-round magazine capacity of 9mm, which is good. That's an upgrade from the PPK. But what's not an upgrade is everything that you don't see on the spec sheet. Number one, the build quality on these is terrible. They're essentially made from pot metal and melted down microwavable meal trays. These things have the worst build quality I've ever seen, and it is very, very unreliable. Now, if you did manage to get one reliable, the grip is wildly uncomfortable. It is super fat, very, very hefty for a concealed carry gun. If you look at the size and width of this guy versus even the PPK is even thinner and a little bit more ergonomic than the SCCY, and the PPK is older than your freaking grandpa. The sights would be great if they didn't drift around on you, and the trigger is absolutely abysmal. So you can guarantee if you buy this gun, not only will you not get repeat shots quickly because the trigger sucks, but you also won't be able to hit anything, and even if you were able to hit anything, the gun wouldn't work. It's unreliable, it's ugly, it is affordable, but other than that, it's a real pile of shit. Oh man, this one's gonna hurt. This one'll be a little harder. The Sig P365. It's a pretty good gun, but to be honest with you, I could probably find something. First off, they are very small, they are very light, they have a good capacity, they're a modern gun, they have good sights, and they are reliable. I would say probably, to be brutally honest with you though, most of the people I've ever met that carry these, they can't shoot. The reason why I say that is because nobody ever shoots these. When's the last time you went to the range and you're like, shit, that guy's just piling rounds out of his Sig P365? Nah, he carries a Sig 365, and on the weekends he shoots a 1911 like a normal person. The reason why is because these guns are extremely snappy, and the trigger is tough to manage, especially when you are anticipating that recoil. It's very light, very small, fully loaded with 9mm. They can have quite a pop, actually.
Oh, it's beating my hand. Oh!
No matter how comfortable your carry gun is, you need to go out and train with it. Whether it's comfortable to shoot or not, if you carry the gun, you should be efficient with it, or there's really no point in carrying it. Overall, most of the people that I've seen that buy a Sig P365, they usually buy the gun, they take it to the range, they shoot it once to make sure it works about 20 or 30 rounds, and they either put it in their purse or they put it in their concealed carry holster, and that's where it stays for a year or two before they get out, take it to the range, shoot 20 more rounds, realize they hate it, and they do the same thing. Now, in at number 5, we are going to have certainly one of the most popular carry guns in the world, and that is going to be the Smith & Wesson Airweight series. Now, these little J-frames have been extremely popular for a very long time. That being said, they are certainly not perfect, or everyone would carry them, which they don't. Now, this one here is a 5-round 38 special plus P. However, they make guns this size in 357 Magnum, but I definitely wouldn't suggest that. Number one, a 357 Magnum out of a 1-inch barrel loses a lot of velocity, and it is very difficult to hit with. Number two, it's like a flashbang going off if you actually shoot the thing. And number three, it's got more recoil than a freaking 50 BMG. Even 38 plus P through this little Airweight is not a fun time to shoot. And the reason why is because of the ergonomics of the backstrap. If I'm gonna go with a small pistol, I love Smith & Wesson, but I'm going Ruger all day long. The reason why is even though this has a rubber grip, it has a metal back back plate here, and this thing is very uncomfortable under recoil. The entire way the grip is actually designed on the Smith & Wesson J-frames is designed for me to sort of hate them. The sights on these are absolute garbage, as they have been for several decades, and 5 rounds of 38 Special is, in my personal opinion, not exactly an ideal loadout when you can see that you can get 10 rounds of 9mm, which, believe it or not, is actually a little more powerful for an almost even smaller package, if not a smaller package overall. So, is the Smith & Wesson Airweight absolutely useless? 100% not. Housewives have been protecting themselves with this for a very long time. They have been used for deep cover pistols, and they've been used by revolver aficionados for a long time very successfully. That being said, the double action only trigger pull on a very small gun is just begging for you to miss low and left, and the very minimal sights make it very hard to even acquire a sight picture if you're trying to shoot accurately. Now, they have some definite pros, especially in CQB. For example, if you're pushing the gun into somebody up close and you push it, a semi-automatic will be out of battery and the trigger will not work. Whereas the revolver here, if I press that into somebody and pull the trigger, it's going to work every single time. On top of that, the slide is not going to get snagged by clothing or any type of garment, so when you use them up close, they're actually pretty good for that. That being said, they also can have timing issues, especially if you ride the trigger like a standard semi-auto. Overall, the pros of being good in close quarters, I think, are outweighed by the cons of not being good anywhere else. So for me personally, I do not carry Airweight revolvers, although I do recommend them as long as you train properly and you put the time in to get good with them. Now, hopefully you like this video. This is just me talking shit, by the way. This is just my personal opinion, and in all fairness, 4 out of 5 of these guns are pretty excellent, and I would definitely recommend them if you know what you're getting into and you have the time and the training to get used to them. I mean, all of them but this one anyway. I don't recommend this one. This one sucks. Throw this one away. Here, watch this. Now, we have tons of videos on amazing carry guns. I actually posted about a month ago the top 5 best carry guns for the money if you're interested in a better setup than what you saw here. And if you want to see more like this, maybe a list of PCCs or rifles or even big handguns, maybe even competition guns. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support your Oklahoma shelters and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.